Hello, folks. This is Scott. It is now 8:22 in the morning, Sunday. It is the 10th day of July 2022. I almost said June. It is nice down here, 79 degrees, mostly cloudy, Tampa, Florida. And I am joined by Bo, of course. There's no co-pilot in the co-pilot seat, but we do have the chorus, which has been increased by one. We have, of course, Sir Saucy of the Crawfish Nebula. We have Glowy, he's my handler. We have Coach Mothpill, of course, in his usual position. And we have a new individual with us. Don't know his name yet. He is, as of yet, to be unnamed. But we found him taking Bo for a walk this morning. And Bo almost pooed on him. And I saw him on the ground looking up. And we have Gabby, who featured prominently in a previous video, attacking me. She might be joining us. And there she is again. Hi, Gabby. Why do they call you Gabby? Why? Why do I call you Gabby? That's why. Okay. Right. Funny story. I made this video before this morning. 40 minutes worth of it. Was all happy. It was a very good video. Realized I hadn't opened OBS. And so when I pushed the hot button keys to start recording, I wasn't recording. That's stupid, isn't it? That you can tell me to my face. You ain't gonna say it like that. And down, he's down. She's just gonna attack them. All right, you can kill the glowy one. Okay, so she's just a distraction, total distraction now. Yeah, I forgot to activate OBS, and so when I hit the fucking hot button keys, it did nothing. I made a 40-minute video this morning about this type of subject, to no avail. So I'm gonna make it shorter this time. Sorry. What? You know I'm doing something, right? I don't care what you're doing. I'm a cat. You gotta pay attention to me. Okay, so quick update on car. In line with words that come back and bite you on the ass. When they fucked up my distributor last time, I said, I've learned my lesson. From now on, I'm going to do this shit myself because I know I can. I've done it before. I have the capabilities and the tools. And if I don't have the tools, I'll get the tools. I will do it myself. And so, I am doing it myself. As you saw from yesterday's video, what are you doing? You keep messing my chair up. As you saw from yesterday's video, she was not in the first video, by the way. As you saw, what? As you saw in yesterday's video, I had come up with this new thing to do it with, and this new plan, and I have got this all set up and ready to go. I took out the distributor without taking the cap off. I did not mark where the rotor was. And so now I have to go through a whole fucking process, which is extensive, to put it back. So I was hoping to be able to, what are you doing? I was hoping to be, stop. I was hoping to be able to show you this morning where I'll go out there and put it back together and boom, it fires up. Everyone seems to think that the system that I use is gonna work until I get that part and I can use the new distributor and everything will be great. The problem is I can't do that because because I fucked up and didn't do that one simple step, which I knew. I've replaced distributors so many times before. I've taken this one in and out and in and out and in and out. I knew the system. I just forgot. I was thinking about shit 3 steps ahead. And then I made this video this morning talking about that, and I mentioned that. And at the end, I talked about what an idiot I am because, like a jackass, I said, I'm going to do it myself, and then I fucked it up. But I was thinking about shit 3 steps ahead. When I made this video, I was thinking about shit 3 steps ahead again and forgot to open up OBS. I'm nothing if not consistently stupid. So, I pay the price. I can't blame anybody but myself. I fucked this one up. And it is a big process. Let's get to Sri Lanka as quickly as possible now because I've already done this once before. Woo! Okay, this is BB. She's talking to this guy. I don't know what the fuck this guy's name is, Rek. People don't understand. God damn, this is so fucking long. Fuck. People don't understand what's happening with Sri Lanka. People don't understand what's happening with Sri Lanka, and I can help you understand that. It just takes fucking time. BB tells this individual, bigger question is why you promote color revolution psyops in Sri Lanka and distract from the fact that these protests are astroturf stunts for establishment agendas. Very true. BB, like Bob, who sent me an email, they understand. They have an instinct. Bob sent me a link to this dude. Thank you, Bob. That's not his real name, but that's the name we'll use. CIA coup with a question mark. Obviously, it's a CIA coup. There's no question. And he points out in this video a number of things that are absolutely true. Western diplomats encourage them and encourage the government not to intervene. You gotta stop. Come on, Gabby, you gotta stop. The protests were organized by USA-funded local NGOs and promoted by NGO think tank and think tank employees and the liberal influencers. The most prominent voices have been urban upper-class liberals. The protests are not anti-IMF. They blame the government for not choosing the IMF over China when they had their chance. They want to further liberalize the country. Most prominent ones have been invited to meet Western diplomats, and they have. Some of them in Western countries have used social media to organize the protests, and some protesters ended up receiving journalistic training in other countries and by unknown organizations. Not unknown organizations, by the way. USAID. What does that say? USAID trains reporters in Sri Lanka. So it's not unknown agencies. USAID, a front for the CIA. Training journalists in Sri Lanka. I'm sorry, I'm just so fucking frustrated. This is a fucking 40-minute goddamn video. And you need every fucking minute of it to understand what happens here. 2019, the country comes to power, a new government, and they campaigned on ideas of nationalism and protectionism because this whole globalization thing wasn't going so well. That didn't mean that they gave up the IMF loans and they said, no, they've been on again, off again, on again, off again with the IMF loans for a while. But here's the problem, in a nutshell. I'll do as quick as I possibly can. This is the Belt and Road Initiative. If you look, that little blue island down here, Colombo is the capital of Sri Lanka. It is part of the Belt and Road Initiative. If you look at Sri Lanka, understand that this can't be a domino allowed to fall amidst all these other countries, especially India, which is in the process of tipping over and falling. But Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, Philippines, they can't allow the fucking domino here to fall. And the domino, boys and girls, is falling. Let me show you something real quick. We'll talk about this later. You see that little green nub right there with the little pinchers on it? Looks like a crab with little pinchers on it. That wasn't there 11 years ago. China has been helping them pull up soil, dredging up soil from the deep blue sea and dumping it there. They built a peninsula. Why? Colombo, their capital, needed a big-ass fucking port and needed a new financial sector. So as you can see, they have it laid out. A waterway, bridges going into the new financial sector. This, the plan is, from China and Sri Lanka, to make this into London financial sector, to make this into Wall Street's, to make this into a massive financial center, a hub, if you will, attached to a massive international port, all controlled by Sri Lanka and China, part of the Belt and Road Initiative, a key part of the Belt and Road Initiative, and a key location. Much better than Jakarta or Kuala Lumpur. A key location. That couldn't be allowed. They've been getting closer and closer and closer to China. Here's an article. Somebody asked whether or not China's push, did China push Sri Lanka into a spiraling debt chaos with the Belt and Road Initiative? Here's a billboard. That's Xi Jinping and their leaders. These are billboards all over the place. This is from 2022, April. This is before the vast majority of those people that you see in these videos was out there protesting. Who was protesting at the time? Fucking young males, groomed, clearly. Their crowd small enough to shoot on the down low, the images, wearing headbands, mass-produced, in English, for the hashtag #GoToGoHome, which is their president. Or prime minister, their prime minister. In English, holding up signs in English. These fuckers don't read English. They have no idea what the fuck they say on their fucking headbands. Doesn't matter to them. Why? Because they are NGOs. They are groomed, business-friendly supporters of, I don't know, the cat, Jesus Christ, USAID or National Endowment for Democracy or the State Department or whoever. Gabby, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You didn't do this in the first video. Oh, God. The chorus is getting out of control. I'm going to have to start doing videos, shutting the doors. Man, if she sprays me while she's sitting back there, you will probably witness me kill a cat. Oh, I hate to have to choke a bitch. What are you doing? Why? Okay, so I don't know. Yes, of course they fucking control the goddamn media. Look, The IMF went up there June the 20th to offer them a restructuring deal, offering to give them some more money, to forgive some of the debt, to let them take out more fucking debt, and to force more fucking austerity measures on the people with their structural reforms. To open up their markets more to hot money speculators. To do things like, big agribusiness doesn't get nearly enough attention in the alt community anymore. Used to, not anymore. Should here, because they're part of it. 2 years ago, the government decided, the same government that they want to remove from office, the government decided they want to go with organic. They want to make the whole point, the whole thing, their niche, organic fucking fruits and vegetables, produce. And so they stopped with the big agri's fucking GMO corn and their fucking Monsanto's fucking pesticides and shit. They stopped with that. They stopped allowing it into the country. And they had their fucking farmers move their fucking crops towards organic. Now they claimed that caused an issue financially. It did not. However, it did piss off our national interests, who swore up and down that they would get back in fucking Sri Lanka with their goddamn poison. And they will, after yesterday's coup. They will. Now, they were discussing this, and they discussed this starting in June the 20th. I think that's June the 20th. That's from Al Jazeera, June the 20th. Press release on June 30th was they concluded the visit to Sri Lanka without a new deal because they wanted too much to punish the people of fucking Sri Lanka. So they did not make an extended fund facility arrangement with them. They didn't restructure the fucking loan. That was a bad sign for the leadership in Sri Lanka. Understand this. Much of the problem is focused around fuel. People having a hard time getting fuel. The fuel prices were going up. Even though the value-added tax went down, which of course the IMF said, don't do that. They took it from 15% to 8% about a year ago. And they said, oh, no, you can't do that. We need our value-added tax to pay back the loans. The businesses that are getting the money, the investors want to get that fucking money. And they're pissed off because they're not getting it. So the fuel, they don't produce fuel themselves. They need to get it from outside the sources. And right now, they've been getting it from westernized outside sources. They've turned the taps off. They openly admit they turned the taps off because, according to them, Sri Lanka wasn't paying their bills, not necessarily to them, but to the rest of the business community around the world. And they had stopped with the IMF loan repayments, which of course was going straight to businesses, like banks and financial institutions. So because they did that, their connection with the westernized fuel industry, they turned the taps off. And so did businesses in the country. They stopped bringing in products. They stopped bringing in stuff off of the fucking off of the boats to put on the shelves because they wanted to make the economy scream. Why? Because they want to get them away from China. Did China push them there to this fucking situation? No. But their connection to China and their refusal to turn their back on the Belt and Road Initiative did. We did this to them. And I say we, it's the royal we. It's fucking the United States, Canada, Great Britain, the Five Eyes countries, World Economic Forum, the Bank for International Settlements. That's the we, not you and I. That's a poster. That's a billboards are all up all over fucking Sri Lanka, celebrating the connection between China and their nation. That can't do. That cannot do. This is a competition. This is Coke versus Pepsi. They have one ideology. We have another. Theirs is regulated market economies and respecting the sovereignty of nations, and ours is free market, savage capitalism, and there are no fucking nations. There are no borders. Globalization, the New World Order, the Great Reset. It's a struggle of ideologies. So that wasn't doing them any good. So we brought in these guys. We got businesses to turn off the taps. We got businesses to stop importing the stuff and the products that they needed so that the shelves were bare. Inflation went through the fucking roof. And what did Sri Lanka do? They went to Russia. 2 days before they rejected the IMF deal, Sri Lanka went to Russia to ask Russia for help with their fuel crisis. That was the 27th. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, was the final nail in the coffin of the leadership of Sri Lanka. Because had they been able to work that out, when were they supposed to fucking work a deal out? Today. The 10th. When did they fucking regime change? Yesterday. Sri Lanka sent 2 fucking government ministers to Russia to negotiate for fuel. One of the necessities clearly exhausted as a result of the Indian Ocean nation's economic collapse. The plan comes as Washington and its allies aim to cut off energy imports from Russia in line with sanctions over its war with Ukraine. Had they been able to do that, had they been able to wait long enough to let China start bringing in into their fucking own ports the materials, the goods, the products that they needed to help the people get back on their feet, and enough oil from Russia and refined gasoline and fuel from Russia, this would have been over. This would have been over. Understand what I'm telling you. There is legitimacy to the anger and frustration people in Sri Lanka feel. The vast majority of those people and those images that you see are not working for NGOs. They're not groomed by the people like the ones who groomed the fucking kids in Hong Kong and so forth. They're not working for USAID. They're not working for the State Department. They're not working for NED. I might have mentioned that already. They're not. They're just angry people. Angry people who are being told, why are you back? Who are being told that the cause of their problem are these guys right here, and they're not the cause of the problem any more than they're not doing what, I don't know, Trudeau, Biden, Macron, they're not doing what the leadership in fucking New Zealand, the leadership in Australia, they're not doing what they are, which is no matter what I'm told by fucking Western influence, or no matter what I'm told by fucking the World Economic Forum, it doesn't matter, I'll do it. I will do your bidding. I will hurt my own people as much as I possibly can for you so that you get what you want. So that's the only reason that these people in their country are mad at them. They don't know it. They think it's because corruption. They think it's because whatever fucking cliche you can come up with. Some of them know that it's because they got too close to China. But those are the ones working for the fucking NGOs. Those are the ones bashing people's heads in. Look, if you go back and look at the violence and when all this stuff really kicked off, it was June 30th. It was when there was no goddamn fucking deal with the IMF. They weren't going to fucking go on the hook for more. And they were getting closer and having communications not only with China, but also with Russia for energy to end the crisis, at least as far as the gasoline and the fuel crisis was concerned. That's when the NGOs made the call from states and from London and from fucking Paris or wherever, crank it up. We got to kick this thing off. That's when they got all their reporters that were trained by the USAID and others, mockingbirds from the CIA, to start lying and saying this, that, and the other thing about the fucking government because they had to get rid of the fucking government. They had to get rid of the government. Because it's a competition. It's Coke versus Pepsi. Now, if you're too stupid to understand, if you're too lazy to understand this, then shut the fuck up. Now, again, it's Sri Lanka and most people don't know. I'm not talking about you talking to your friends about this. I'm talking about Caitlin Johnstone, who says in paragraph 3 of this bullshit of hers, titled, "Our entire civilization is structured around keeping us from realizing we can do this." What can you do, Caitlin? Be manipulated to remove a fucking government that is standing in the way of big business interests? Is that what they're keeping you from realizing you can do? Good for you. Proud for you. Proud of you. Another of the long list of bullshit takes she has in her history. This is another one. And of course, because she doesn't want people to come along later and say, "Hey, dumbass, this was a fucking clear regime change," she goes like this. Here's her legal disclaimer. "I don't know enough about what's going on in Sri Lanka yet to comment with any authority on what powers might be at play in this uprising." If you don't, then don't celebrate it. If you don't, then shut the fuck up. If you're going to claim to be a fucking influencer, a thought leader, and you're leading people down the wrong thought path, you've had enough, huh? I thought she was going to attack me. I got to look back at the video of that. I might have been like, ah! If I did, I'm not going to publish this video. Just sitting there blinking at me. I see you. No. No. Ah. 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 That's the last thing a mouse sees. Okay. This fucking video is off the rails. The first one was good. But like I told you, if you don't pay attention, I was thinking, I did a video talking, and in the video I'm talking about the fucking distributor, and I was thinking 2 steps ahead, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. That's the exact same thing I did with the video. Anyway, maybe she'll help with the cat grift, who knows. If you don't know, then just avoid it. Or report on what you know, what you've seen, and say, okay, well, there you go. Who knows what's going on? But this happened. Don't fucking go in there and say, they don't want you to know that you can do this. They know you can do that because they're the ones who did it. You stupid buck. Or you dishonest fuck. You can decide. That's what's happening in Sri Lanka. Okay? In a nutshell. A condensed version that I hope is recording, but like an idiot, I didn't check just in case. That's what's happening in Sri Lanka. And there's a long history that leads up to this. There's all kinds of things that went into it. But in a nutshell, clearly they were getting too close to China. They wanted them to stop. They had rejected our fucking agribusiness. They wanted that to fucking stop. And, of course, they had rejected the new IMF loan to retool the IMF loan and put more fucking structural reforms and force more problems, austerity on their own people, while opening up their businesses in the country to soft money speculators, hot money speculators, and to folks like our big agribusinesses. They wanted all that to fucking change. And instead of doing that, the reason that they were turning off the taps from the fuel, they had gone to somebody whose taps they can't control. So immediately they said, we're kicking this thing off. You're gone. And that's what's happened. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty fucking straightforward. It's pretty obvious. If even I can get that, somebody who keeps fucking up auto repair jobs and videos, then certainly the genius that is Caitlin Johnstone can figure it out. Anyway, a hat tip to Bob for the email, and of course to Aunt BB, and to Gabby. Don't look at me. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.